Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitcraft Mesified server. Boy oh boy is it noisy down here. The sound of drowning mobs fills the air. We are over at Tango's triple spawner farm and boy oh boy this thing does not get enough love anymore, does it? However, I had a use for it. I've been very good in between episodes doing lots of AFK and getting materials for the various things we are doing. Over here, you can get bones and string at the same time, and I've just come over here to pick out the last of it to take back. We got ourselves tons and tons of bones for the tree farm over here, and lots of string as well, which is really good for making wool. We don't have like an AFK wool farm yet, so you can come over here, AFK for a few hours, get tons of string. We've got loads of this stuff, and we need it to do the roof on the building that we did in the last episode. So we're going to be dyeing all of that wool green, and yeah, sorting out the roof. I just wanted to show this place because, you know, it gets forgotten about a little bit. Not many people come over here anymore. Anyway, we're done for now. Let's get over to our base. We want to start work on that roof. I was just admiring the tree here. It looks ever so nice at night, and that's because it's illuminated. There is glowstone in there, and it means it's very visible at night time. Anyway, that transition did not go to plan. I wanted to cover this entire thing in carpets, and I've only covered a portion of it. You see, I did a boo-boo with my maths. I crunched the numbers, I did it wrong, and I figured that we needed 5.5 stacks of green wool. Boy oh boy was that wrong. We've only covered a portion of it, and I just wanted to step up here and show you. I think these textures work really well together. Very nice together indeed. But I don't want to make a big deal out of this. This is just something that'll get finished over time. I am going to do a bit more right now, however. We have some more dye that we can take advantage of, but we don't have too much more wool. You see, I was collecting materials for the episode, and I don't want to hype the episode. That'll take a long amount of time. It's a long way off. Don't get too excited about it. But in this chest I've been gathering materials for it, and some of those materials that I need are wool. I need a lot more than this, and now I'm going to have to pinch it for the roof. Which is unfortunate, but I guess I'll just have to do some more AFKing. There we go, it's all been changed over. I do like it, and now I'm looking out of these windows and thinking, what are we going to do about all of this clay? Over on this side, it's looking real good because we built these bits, and I just wasn't sure if we should rush into building them around here. So what I'm going to do next is focus on this side of the building. We are going to transition the space over here so it looks reasonable. And then down below we've got a little bit of grass here, which I think I want to connect up a bit more, and perhaps have a path that runs through this area. So I want this gap between the two buildings to be really nice and lush, and then have plenty of plants and leaves, and then a little path through the middle, and it'll sort of go through this area, connect up to the path over here. But we also got to do a little bit of digging at this back area because loads of the clay is in front of these windows, so we're going to dig away all of this stuff right here. But I don't think it's going to have too much of a view to come with it as well, because we've got the backside of our horse stable. Yeah, that's right, we hardly use that thing anymore since the elytra sort of really came into play with the boost bows. The horses have just sort of been neglected, you know. They're no longer the best means of travel, with exception to the nether. So yeah, we don't really use that anymore. But anyway, we'll dig this away and we can see how it looks. So this is kind of like I remembered. I just sort of buried it into the back area here. So actually, that looks pretty cool. I don't remember calling this guy Dinnerbone, or maybe I did. I think I've been pranked and I don't even know about it. And one of our horses is still missing. Actually, it's been so long, I don't even know what's happened. I think one of them died at some point. But anyway, I think what we want to do is expose these from this side, and they look pretty cool like that. And what I've been doing, as well as digging away some of this, is putting grass in on the other side. And originally I was going to stretch the grass all the way across the front here, as you can see I've sort of prepared for. Not going to do that anymore. I think what we want to do over here is keep the mesa feel in this little area and throw in some rocks and coarse dirt and things like that, just to break it up a little bit, so I have more of this sort of look on the edge here. And yeah, all of this right here is therefore going to go. We're going to get rid of the yellow McDonald's clay as well. Not really a fan of that. And somewhere over the back there is where we will transition from where I've got all of this grass. I've been laying it down in this area and sort of creating a little bit of a path, which I'm not too keen on because at the moment it's sort of going over this steep ledge right here. So the path itself isn't very wide, and I didn't want this one to be too much of a distinguished path, you know, just something loose like that, which I think looks pretty cool. And there are all sorts of things we're going to do around here. We've got to throw in lots of grass and bushes and light sources, but this is how it will transition over here. So we've got the same pattern of wood on this side over here now, which looks pretty good. We probably need a torch up there to keep that bit lit up. And yeah, the path now can steer off in this direction, go up over here, and this is where it sort of gets caught on a narrow bit like that. But I think it works out in the end, and then it leads over here, and the path will transition into something that will go through this mesa. And it's going to go just down to that little corner bit right there. So lighting is a big issue. Now that it's becoming night, I need to go find a bed to sleep in. We've got one up here. And also let me show you this little bit right here. Not got too much of an idea other than to just have grass here. I don't think I'm going to put like a edge up against the side of those bushes. So hopefully the grass will disguise and blend that a little bit. And is someone else sleeping in a bed? Perfect. So that saves me, well, one click basically. Yes, this definitely works. A little bit of grass here, maybe a large fern as well. Certainly like blends in this little area. No, that does not work there. This is not a path. We want to block this off. Let's put something like that. Cobblestone on either side. Let's mirror it over here. And then we could have an anvil in the middle. Let's try that. And that kind of just continues what you're going to see on the inside. Yep, that works. I do think this entrance will end up being a little bit dark. There is no light sources. And sometimes, you know, sometimes torches look alright. Let's put 2 on that side and 2 on this side here. So these trees aren't spaced out correctly on this side. And if they are spaced out correctly, like these ones, we'll still end up with a tree here. And so I've wrapped the brown clay around the outside. What we will eventually have is a path leading down on this side, as I want to connect this down here to a path that goes between Joe's and Biffa's area. It kind of creates a border between my area and Biffa's. And then we've got this thing to sort out as well. This is all going to be done in another episode though, because you can see I've gone right into the horse tunnel. So it needs a new entrance. It needs to be moved around a little bit. Anyway, let's get back over to the grass on the other side. That is of course what we are focusing on at the moment. So we're looking real good through here. Yep, a torch. I think the occasional one kind of works, but the lighting here is decent, nicely hidden away. And then we transition into where the hardened clay is going to be. And I'm not so sure about this. Also, the path as well doesn't feel very good. I'm not sure what I'm doing at this point. It's time for me to take a break from this. But one thing I have done is thrown in a little rock pile. Now, the hardened clay feels a little bit barren, so it needs a few bits and bobs. It's also going to be subject to torch spam unless there's some other good lighting I can come up with. And what I've seen other people do is create these little rock piles. And I don't know, I feel like when I do them, I don't know what I'm doing. It's just like, okay, I'm putting things down on the ground. Let's hope that this looks good. And usually I'm not too happy with it, right? It doesn't look too good to my eyes. Neither does this one. You see, I don't know quite what I'm doing. But when you see someone like Ren or Iskal do one of these little rock piles, they look so good. This one's the worst rock pile I've done. I feel like the placement of that just isn't on. There we go, let's make it a little simpler. So, yeah, we'll leave this as it is for now and come back to it another time. As always, you're welcome to leave some feedback. It's time to eat, I need to eat, and it leaves us with 1 ham pie. Iskal gave us a full chest. It was half a double chest, which would make a single chest. Yes, he gave us all of that of ham pie, and we've actually eaten our way through all of it. This is my food supply. You can see it's the last ham pie. I feel like actually we should frame that one. We'll put it up in the attic for another day. Our last ham pie. You can really see we get through a ton of food here on the server, and I'm going to move over to some cooked mutton for now, but I do need to think about a food supply for the future. I do have something in mind. Maybe we should go back to some golden carrots again, maybe. I get loads of comments about that. Why are you not eating golden carrots? It's all I used to eat last season, because supposedly it has the best saturation in the game, and maybe we should switch back to them. Alright, we're about to hop through the end portal, and I haven't seen anything that's on the other side yet. Iskal's been talking about him redoing the end area, and I'm excited to see what's going on. There may not be something, to see immediately, so this is kind of the same as it used to be, and that definitely looks different. I am excited, as I said. It sounds like Iskal's really pulled out the works and done something cool over here. Ooh, This is fancy and slightly terrifying. I've got to watch out for any holes that might be around here and any teleporting Endermen. Although what Iskall was telling me is that he learned that Endermen don't teleport to carpets, which means you can be in an area like this. I feel like I've just stepped into a new building that's yet to be furnished. Do you know what I mean? It feels very fresh and brand new, which is exactly what it is. Oh, okay. And is this different? Has this been upgraded? Are there hoppers involved here? That's what I'd like to know. Man, these guys are going to make an absolute racket unless we turn that down. Bam. Say goodbye. And there are loads of ender pearls there. No, look, loads of them disappeared. So you must have upgraded it with hoppers. Right. There's an enderman behind that wall, I can see. And I know there's more things in this area to see. I just don't know how to get to them at the moment. Look at that. The XP doesn't want to go past the carpet. You learn things all the time in this game. There's also, like, you know, 2 blocks of air there for them to jump up on. And where these ender pearls go, I don't know. This is all I can see here. I really do like the stack of anvils, though. I've got no idea how high up that goes. But over here, we have some spoiler walls, and this is the day after I'm making this video, so we'll probably have to wait till our next episode to go and check out what Iskall's done. As I said, I knew he was up to something. There's supposed to be lots more than just the Enderman farm here, and I guess while I'm here I might as well repair some of my gear. I think I've got some picks that need repairing. Yeah, look at this. I made a couple more picks, by the way. Where is... Aha, we've got Asuma's Worker 2 and Asuma's Workers 1. I've been doing so much digging for the episode, a little bit of a hint there, that I made a couple of extra picks as well. Anyway, we will get this all repaired up and return to our base. You know what I'm thinking, right? We should do it. It will be the ultimate test of our skills. It would drive me nuts if I were to fail. Don't fail me now, skills. Come on, that's the way. Oh, nice and easy. Nice and easy. I'll tell you what I do struggle with, though, is lining this up correctly when you don't have... That wasn't really much of a gamble at all, was it? Yeah, I struggle to line it up correctly without F3. The best place to hit yourself from, if you look to the facing line, the longest line... Well, actually, there's lines all over the place. If you look at the far right of the facing bit, when that's at around 1, that number right there, that's a really good way to hit yourself. Ah, that's right, we've respawned over here, yes. I set my spawn in this bed, didn't I? There's also a skeleton all the way over there. Get lost, guy, get lost. See you later. And anyway, on a live stream, we tidied up this garden, which is something we did in a previous episode. So now the thing is finished, let's say, and what we did is put in some birch leaves to sort of variate the spruce, and that was really popular. I do think it looks a lot nicer like that. But this one over here, where we didn't really know what to do, chucked in some beetroot and carrots and wheat, and that sort of looks okay. I quite like that. But this thing right here looks really cool. This is just some spruce wood with some trapdoors going across the top, and then we've got oak, we've got jungle leaves to make it look like berries are growing, and some vines. And I've got to say, it is a little bit on the brown side, but it does look like a little bit of a vinery or some sort of plant growing area. You know what I mean? And below it we've also got little patches of red, which was supposed to give off like the illusion of berries, and I think it worked out okay. But yes, that is this little thing right here finished. It's done. We can forget about it now and just enjoy the view. Ooh, and there is a new shop in town. Look at this fancy looking thing. Looks like a silo. I'll tell you what it looks like. In fact, this really looks like something from No Man's Sky. I don't know if any of you caught any of the live streams I did on that game. I uploaded them all to my second channel. There are these little pods you find on the ground, and they actually have like these little things like this. I don't know really what you'd call that. You can interact with them. This must be inspired by No Man's Sky. And of course, Beef is selling quartz, and there apparently is nothing for sale yet, but we'll check that out for sure when this is all stocked up. And it looks like the Diorite shop has disappeared, which is a little bit of a shame, but it turns out it was a prank after all. If you didn't catch that, yep, Beef and Iskall had a little bit of a pranking back and forth going on. It's been pretty fun. Walking back here, we have an interesting view because we've never had this building behind the horse stable in front. They don't actually go together very well, do they? It sort of blends a little bit too much. The green doesn't like pop out against the purple. In my eyes, anyway. But it doesn't really matter. It's nothing to worry about. Hey, look at me. I'm upside down. I'm behind the ender pearls. Yeah, I got chests upon chests of ender pearls, so I figured maybe someone over here new on the server would like some ender pearls. We won't say who this is from, but it takes no time at all to just drop these over. As you know, I like to leave these lying around the end hub. I like to just put them in chests wherever I can. Actually, one stack will do me fine. Just because it's so useful whenever you don't have them in your inventory to, grab a chest and, oh, look at that, some ender pearls. So we'll leave them there for Beef. He might not even notice it. I don't know. It is right next to his entrance. So anyway, I am sure he will find those useful. It's kind of appropriate. I'm walking across this little path right here. It's one that we built with Iskau, and he gave me some building tips when I was hanging out with him. Jump boost, hello. That makes our journey back a little bit faster, I guess. Anyway, I've been chatting to him about building, and building is always something I try to improve at. I've never really said that I am a builder, and I've also said that about a gazillion times. And so far, our base, if we just to pay attention to what's going on, it sort of chops and changes between different styles from room to room here. And then when we go down to our project down below, it gets a little bit convoluted because we are now putting those styles in the same room together. So our base here is very log heavy. There are a couple of different textures at work, I guess. You've got your darker side over here, and then some of your lighter stuff with the acacia and the andesite. And then when we go down around here, things change up a lot. And the reason why is because we've got a very distinct building style over on this side with our sandstone and acacia. This works, it looks very nice. And then on the opposite side, you've got mobs. You've got mobs hanging out in your base. It's never any good. Get away from me, I said. And hey, don't... What just happened? I was shooting the guy. I have a mouse wheel that sometimes you move it and it doesn't move the hotbar, and then sometimes you move it and it moves over too slowly. It can be a little bit confusing when you're recording a video. So we've got a wall on our right hand side, and the purpose of this is to just mirror a little bit of what's going on the left over here on the right, and it feels good. But if we were to take this away and let the brown of that area over there sort of flood into this area, it starts to get, as I said, a little bit convoluted, which just means there's a bit much going on. There's several build styles at work in the same area, and they don't all tie together very well. The problem really is the sandstone, because elsewhere in the base what we have is the same theme going on. We've got the dark oak, we've got spruce, and then we've got acacia and other light colours as well. But now you can see all this dark sort of comes from this side, and it doesn't work with the sandstone, and I think it would be a bit of a shame to tear the sandstone out. So since we've already had like acacia and dark oak working upstairs, I now want to sort of unify the theme in this room. And I think since we've last recorded as well, you can see I've come in here and just worked on a few things casually, see how they look. Don't know if any of this is going to stay. But what we will do is work on changing all of this over here on this side to this theme over here, and then I think it's going to look a lot better. Straight away here I found what works, and the reason that we have the two different colours is because of the way the staircase comes down. You had this brown on this side, and then I just noticed that there is sort of a ledge that occurs and allows you to break them off like this. Can you see it? Where the slabs are? And I think it looks, yeah, just a tad odd right there. We need to swap that one over. But that's going to allow us to bring the acacia out and then move it round into the room. So I don't think that looks better than what we had before. It looks good, but it looks great when you look at it from here, because you're seeing both sides and they don't clash with one another, and that really works for me. Now we've got these ledges going around on this side, and to try and keep it the same, you can see I've sort of mirrored that over here, and then above the ledge what we have are some trap doors, and behind them there's just a bit of a gap that's sort of unattended. Oh, we've gone up a little too high here. And so what I'm thinking of doing is putting something behind it. Now, there are two things that come to mind. One is white stained glass. We use that over on the side and over there as well. But you can still see through that and sort of see the messiness back there. I don't know what will look better, but the other option is glowstone. And even though it's on top of grass, it should keep the grass as it is. And of course, that grass is used for regrowing what's down there. So we can also go with some glowstone, have a load of it like that. And let's just take a step back. This is really just us looking at the glowstone. There's only one glass up there. I actually think the glass would look more interesting. In fact, I don't think we even need the trapdoors, do we? We just want a line of glass up there. We're looking good in here at the moment. I like how it's going. It's a slow and organic process of just changing things around and seeing what works. I like this sandstone here. It works just as well as the oak wood did. And now I'm starting to map out where the path is going to go through this room. At some point there'll be like a stairs down to the floor down below. And yeah, I like all the little changes that I've been doing so far. One of them is this right here. This is now too wide to make this path make a little more sense. This is where you're going to walk up and refill the potions for the brewing stand. So if you remember the whole refilling technique, you just come up here and do that and it will make its way down into the system. But that'll get done another day. You see, I'm running out of time here. I did have plans to make another farm over in this area, which is what we'll probably do in the next episode. However, there was one other big important thing that I wanted to do this one, which was finishing off the greenhouse. Alright, I got my flower pots. You know what we're going to be up to? Some pottery? No, that's not the same thing. Buying some flowers from False's shop over here. Didn't bring my flyboat. I'm going to take the opportunity to fly back. Oh my, that roof looks amazing from up here, and there are mobs spawning on it, which I don't like. We need some more carpets, that's for sure. Wow. Anyway, let's go into this place. I've set up all of the little tables down here. I guess we could call them tables, couldn't we? They are tables, of course they are. And what we're going to do in here is have rows of flower plots. Plots, amazing. My pronunciation today has been insane. I've been deleting so many clips I've recorded because I keep saying grass instead of glass and plots instead of pots, apparently. What I would like to do is have a different one in each, so we have lots of pretty flowers, and maybe try and collect all of the different things that you can put in pots from the game, you know? Anyway, we'll have different rows like this, and then there'll be loads of pretty tables full of pretty flowers, and it'll look pretty cool. I just said pretty way too many times then, didn't I? And check this out, I've collected quite a few different things. We'll put the flowers on one side, and then, oh, okay, sunflowers don't go in there. Didn't know that. That's a little fun fact for you right there. Can't put a sunflower in a teapot. I just said teapot. Do you know why you can't put a sunflower in it? Because it's a too high plant, isn't it? When I started this, I was thinking it's not going to look very good. You see, I was arranging these tables in all sorts of different layouts, but it's not until the flower pots and the plants are on them that they really start to make sense, and that looks extremely cool. The better angle is actually just seeing it from sort of up above to the side, isn't it? When you're down at this level, not quite the same effect, but that is seriously cool. And there are more things for us to collect and fill up this room with. I think I might need some more clay as well. We've got to tidy up these chests, and there's still more work to be done outside. Look at that, still got some more bricks. So we'll be finishing up this room. I'll probably do that in a live stream, but now you get the gist of what all of this is about. We've also got space over there for a secret entrance, but I think it's time for me to wrap this one up. It's been a long day. I'm still busy in the new place, doing lots of jobs around the place, and my words have been all over the place. I've been saying plots and pots and grass and glass, and saying all sorts of silliness, as you have probably spotted, so it's clearly time for me to wrap it up. If you've enjoyed this one, leave a like on the video. As always, thank you so much for your support, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.